face. So I'd like to make a case for the underrated and the imperfect. You can buy that very glamorous kaftan, and you can spend 3 days planning the most impeccable dinner party, but you probably won't feel like Beyoncé on a yacht, and the award-winning cheese board is not why the evening was fun. Can I recommend instead that you put on a good pair of jeans, smear, and I really do mean smear, some eyeliner in the vicinity of your eyelids, and just go about your day? If the kids have done their homework, if the person you're with is kind and knows how to laugh at themselves, if you've remembered to call your best friend back, then that really is quite good. Everything else is just sprinkles. Quite important to me. Napping. Yes, on first glance, this might feel like an odd place to start. Wait, I've just started reading and she's telling me to have a snooze. The answer's going to be an almighty yes. Yes to napping, yes to sleep, yes to being idle. I will explain. When I was about 12, my mum had lunch with a brain surgeon. I'm not sure why. She was at a big work thing and by happenstance found herself sitting next to him. After an excellent and fascinating chat about how the brain works and funding for the NHS, he said to her, "Oh, by the way, always let your children sleep. It's the greatest life insurance we have. The brain grows and the body fixes itself while at rest. Anyway, have a great day. It was nice to meet you." That's all he said. He didn't really elaborate. She didn't ask a gazillion questions, but from that day onwards, everything changed. It wasn't subtle. It wasn't slow. There wasn't a big explanation. She came home and simply said, "I will never tell you to get up at the weekends again." I know, right? He must have been pretty compelling. And that was it. We were allowed, encouraged even, to get into bed. Homework's a bit tough. Stop looking at your physics and get back under the covers and close your eyes. Here, I'll draw the curtains. Before we watch Dynasty, why don't you curl up on the sofa and try and have a cat nap? That's how it went. It wasn't like that at my friends' houses. They were awed when I told them, and most came back to mine on a Friday night and stayed till Sunday, 4 of us, top to toe in a single bed. I had the only mother on earth who didn't come in at 9, 10 and 11 a.m. saying, "You're wasting the day." She didn't sweep into my bedroom and open the curtains and announce, "The weather is wonderful, up you get, sleepyheads." She'd let us sleep for hours. Midday would pass, even 1 p.m. Lunch was moved later and later so my brother and I could laze about in our rooms. If either of us was still asleep, then everyone had to be extra quiet so as not to wake us up. No radio, no TV, no loud chatting, absolutely no vacuuming or banging round with pots and pans. Shh, she's asleep. She's growing and needs to rest. Why is the football so loud? I've told you, I think she might be catching 40 winks. When people ask me about my childhood, I remember all sorts of things. Screaming with laughter with my dad and sister, his pasta sauce, my stepmom's teriyaki steak on special occasions. I remember my mum getting ready in the clickety-clack of high heels on pine floors and the smell of Giorgio, Beverly Hills. We were so 80s. And watching Trading Places on a loop with my brother. But the main thing that comes to mind, my real resounding memory, is of napping. Sleep was good for me. Everyone was delighted when I slept. I woke up after a good 10 hours, only to power downstairs, eat all the sunpat I could find. I once had it on raw mushrooms. I don't advise. And then I'd trail back upstairs again, sometimes with a cup of tea or a Diet Coke, and I'd get back into bed and manage maybe another 45 minutes. I have not grown out of this. I still love napping now. In fact, I'm all for idleness, for doing nothing. I'm hugely in favour of taking a load off. I'm not sure when we equated busy with success or doing nothing with wasting time. The implication is you're so sluggish, so idle, so slovenly. Can't talk now, rush, rush, rush. I'm just so busy. Seriously, you thought I was hectic 2 months ago? That was nothing. I'm now so frantic I'm going to lose my head. We'll have to diarise a catch-up. Does next Thursday at 12:50 work? I'll have a free 10 before lunch. Most of us feel like we're on hamster wheels. Homework, cooking, showering, bedtime story, back downstairs, on our phones, watching the latest box set. For fuck's sake, put on Tiger King. We're days behind. I feel like an arsehole. Meetings, weekend plans, calls, conference calls. Hi, it's Phil here. I'm going to introduce 6 people on this call, and then only I am going to talk. That's just me. Cool. And then it's lunches and more meetings and racing home and changing and drinks and then out for supper and then home and too exhausted to brush teeth, have sex, laugh about Phil on the conference call, and then it happens all over again. This may feel hard to avoid sometimes, but I don't understand why it's to be lauded, why anyone thinks it's a good idea. The really successful people, I mean the spectacularly smart ones, seem to be gardening and reading books and pottering about. Have you seen their Insta stories?